The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on Tom's Radio Toronto are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of Tom's Radio Toronto or its staff. These broadcasts are presented and made public as entertainment and general information only, in the hope that they will be entertaining and informative to listeners. They are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or mitigate in any way any disease or condition or to promote any specific lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice, nor is the information presented necessarily accurate or verifiable.
We're back! And of course, ito po ang inyong kababayan mo, Datol. And this is your news at 4 top story. Of course, Canada Day, but shame on Canada. Thousands attend cancel Canada Day rally at the Parliament Hill. A sea of orange shirts replaced the usual red and white on Parliament Hill and downtown Ottawa today, July 1, as thousands of people called to cancel Canada Day following the recent discovery of unmarked graves at the 3 former residential schools. The Anishinaabe Nation and Indigenous Rights Group Idle No More organized the hashtag Cancel Canada Day March from the Indigenous Service Canada building in Gatineau to Parliament Hill today. In a statement on its website, Idle No More said the gathering was to honor all the lives lost to the Canadian state. We will not celebrate the ongoing genocide within Canada against Indigenous people, says a statement on Facebook. Instead, we will gather to honor all the lives lost to the Canadian state, including the many lives lost to residential schools. Thousands of people, many wearing orange shirts, shouted, "Shame on Canada! No pride on genocide!" and bring them home as they walk onto Parliament Street. Elders and residential school survivors stated off the speaker with a prayer. Elder Claudette Comanda said she was happy to see everyone attending the march and wearing orange. If Canada is true to its reconciliation, it is within nations, it is with not corporations, and we are the nation, said Comanda. Comanda added today as was a day to honor the children who were recovered at the sites of the former residential schools. This is not a day for celebration. This is a day for reflection, said one speaker about the July 1 in Canada. The Canadian flag on the Peace Tower continues to fly at half-mast to recognize the discovery of children's remains at residential schools in Saskatchewan and British Columbia. Flags are also flying at half-mast at City of Ottawa sites. Last week, a memorial started on Parliament Street following the discovery of 751 unmarked graves at a former residential school in Saskatchewan. The memorial in front of the Centennial Flame includes shoes, stuffed animals, and messages. Canada Day events are cancelled in Ottawa for a second straight year due to the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions. Canadian Heritage is hosting a virtual Canada Day celebration at 8 p.m. tonight instead of the usual giant show on Parliament Hill and the Major's Hill Park. In a statement, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau acknowledged that for some, July 1 is not yet a day of celebration. the horrific findings of the remains of hundreds of children at the sites of former residential schools in British Columbia and Saskatchewan have rightly pressed us to reflect on our country's historic failures and the injustices that still exist for Indigenous peoples and many others in Canada, said Trudeau. We as Canadians must be honest within ourselves about our past. Yesterday or Wednesday, Mayor Jim Watson urged Ottawa residents to celebrate what brings us together and reflect on how we can collectively work towards reconciliation. While I look forward to an opportunity to celebrate our country with many residents next year, now more than ever, it's most appropriate that we take the time to work towards meaningful reconciliation with all partners, said Watson in a Wednesday. This is a time to recognize that our country's past practices, which have scared far too many generations of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. Well, some Ottawa businesses decided to remain closed on Canada Day following the discovery of the unmarked graves and out of respect for Indigenous communities in Canada. The Gilmore and the Mary Dairy both said they will remain closed on Canada Day. We come together to celebrate Canada as one of the best and greatest countries on earth. But to truly be the best and greatest country means owning up to the brutal facts of our past and present. Well, that's what Mary Derry in a post on Twitter said. Each of us needs to do our own part to atone, reconcile, and live together as fellow human beings with the respect and dignity each of us deserve. Well, that's how Canada Day is being observed right now. The findings of so many unmarked grave sites in Saskatchewan and British Columbia, mahirap pong tanggapin yun. Could not be accepted so easily. Especially to us immigrants. Tayo po ay nabibilang sa ibang henerasyon. Indigenous people of Canada, dito. Ang hirap nun. And of course, the nations, the First Nations, they're trying to ask an apology from the Pope. But until now, they haven't received any words from the Pope. At any rate, sundan po natin, tingnan po natin ang mangyayari din. Hindi pa naman tapos to. Tingnan natin pag natapos, palagay ko, ang paghahasik ng virus ng COVID-19 dito sa Canada, what will follow next? How is this unfortunate happenings to the lots of children who were killed or died during that unfortunate moments in their lives? Tingnan po natin yan, may mangyayaring sigurado dyan sa pagkapatuloy ng investigasyon dyan. At any rate, ang China po kinikilalang sleeping giant hanggang nung magising to until it awakens and become one or rather not on top 3 of the world's biggest and powerful economies in the world next to the US. Tingnan po natin, may istoryang to. Sabi nila, era of China being bullied is gone forever. President Xi says at 100th birthday of Communist Party. Here is the story. President Xi Jinping hailed China's irreversible course from humiliated colony to great power at the centenary celebration for the Chinese Communist Party today. In a speech reaching deep into history to remind patriots at home and rivals abroad of these nations and his own ascendancy. speaking about the giant portrait of Mao Zedong, which dominates Tiananmen Square from the podium where the famous chairman proclaimed the People's Republic of China in 1949. She said, "The era of China being bullied is gone forever," praising the party for uplifting incomes and restoring national pride. Drawing a line from the subjugation of the Opium Wars to the struggle to establish a socialist revolution in China, she said the party has brought about national rejuvenation, lifting tens of millions from poverty and altered the landscape of world development. She, wearing a Mao-style jacket, added the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation has entered in a irreversible historical course and vowed to continue to build a world-class military to defend national interest. In the summer of 1921, Mao and clutch of Marxist-Leninist thinkers in Shanghai founded a party which has since morphed into one of the world's most powerful political organizations. It now counts around 95 million members, garnered over a century of war, famine, and turmoil, and more recently a surge to superpower status, butting up against Western rivals led by the U.S. In a ceremony of pomp and patriotism, thousands of singers backed by a marching band belted out stirring choruses including "We are the heirs of communism," and "Without the Communist Party, there would be no new China," as markless invitees cheered and wave flags in a packed Tiananmen Square. Well, applied by over helicopters information spelling 100, a giant hammer and a sickle flag trailing, and a one-handed gun salute followed, while young communists in unison pledged allegiance to the party. Nako, 100 taon na pala, 100 years old na yung Communist Party of the Philippines. Philippines? China? What am I talking here? 123 naman yung Pilipinas. Independence Day. Ito naman China, Beijing, Communist Party of China, formed in 1921. Ayun, kaya 100 taon na. Hindi na raw kayang takutin ang kahit sino makapangyarihang bansa, ang China. Sila na nga nananakot ngayon, di ba? Sila na nambubuli, they become the bully from the bullied country before. Di ba? Ilang ginagawa ng China sa West Philippines, di ba pambubuli yun? Sending in them more than 200 ships. May kasama pang panggera. Warships. Para takutin yung mga nagdadadang, particular na yung mga fishermen from the Philippines who just trying to catch fishes dyan sa West Philippine Sea. Ano naman ang panlaban ng Pilipinas? Lilima lang yung nakita kong pinadadala ng Pilipinas doon. 200 ang kalaban na yon. So we need the presence of the United States of America 7th Fleet. And of course, yung mga pandigma po ng allied countries. Ano kayang pero kaya? Ano ba yung sendang? Yung pero kaya? Hindi kaya pera-pera lang yan. Balita kasi natin, yung mga lumalabas na katotohanan ngayon, Seoul, binenta ng Pilipinas ng China. Nung kapanahunan ni Pinoy, ang pinapunta nun si Trillanes. Yun ang sinasabing mga bali-balita. Ang kumakalat ngayon niya, mag-i-eleksyon na kasi. Di siraan ng siraan. Binenta nyo ang ating Philippine soil. Sino nagbenta? Si Pinoy. Patay na po yung Pinoy. Hindi na makapagsalita. Everything what he has done was interred in his bones. Sinunog kagad. Pagkamatay nung gabi, kinabukasan na-cremate na. Ano kaya nangyari talaga, no? Ba't ako napunta ron? Ba't ako napunta sa cremation kagad ng dating Pangulong Pinoy? And we are talking about the 100 years nung pagkakatatag ng Communist Party of China. Sino nga naman ang mambubuli ngayon sa China? Yung kanilang Great Wall of China lang. Ginawa yan. Na mahigit 1.4 billion Chinese people, the only landmark in the earth or nandito sa mundo na nakikita sa kalawakan. Great Wall of China. Biruin mo yun, ang tagal ginawa nun. Ang daming namatay, 1.4 billion Chinese ang gumawa niyang Great Wall of China. Well, ang sabi nga natin, sino pa nga ba mambubuli? Paramihan ng tao, nangunguna ng China, pangalawan lang yung India. Hindi ba? Kaya nung 100 year, ngayon, this year, kanina, nag-celebrate ng China. Tiananmen Square. Nabanggit ko na nga rito noong 1980 at 1990. 89 ang pinakamatindi noon nung China. Andun kami World Boxing Championship sa Beijing, China. I was there together with Mel Lopez, the mayor nila, Manny Lopez. Ayan, yung mga national boxers, PRO ko ng boxing ng mga Lopez. So I was there to cover it. Nagkataon, nag-Tiananmen Square, knock ng dragon. Kami yung mga reporter, bawal nga lumapit doon. Ang hirap nun. Lahat ng nagrarally, hinuhuli, ginugulpe. Yung isang matapang na Chinese, kitang-kita to sa buong mundo. Hinarangan yung isang tangke. He stand in front of the tank, yung malaking-malaking tangke ng China. Inilagay niya yung mukha niya rin sa bunganga ng tangke. Yung tank, hindi pumutok kakasya ulo. Hindi nakagalaw. Yun ang matinding nangyaring na daming mga kwandon, mga international media, nakunan yun. Inilabas. That was in 1989, we were there. In Tiananmen Square. That's the first time I was in China, sa Beijing. Sa Olympic Hotel kami tumuli nun. In 1990, ganun din, Asian Games. Di ba? Talagang ganun marami akong napuntahan because of being a writer, a sports writer. 1990, Asian Games, 1994. Ayun. Ganyan talaga. 94 naman, nandun kami sa Japan, Hiroshima, Japan. 1990, nasa Beijing, China. Well, talagang ganun. Lumakas ng todo ang China. Ang economy niyan matindi. Pangalawa na sa Amerika, US number 1, number 2, China number 3 yata, ang Japan. Paano Canada? Hindi naman nila sinasali yung Canada. Canada could not be left out of the cold. We are the number 3 country in the world. The most livable place in the world is Canada. At nasa top 10, number 1 tayo. Ba tayo napapabayaan? Hindi ngayon nabibigyan ng limelight. Kasi, kasi, ika nga sa amin, sa hain. Happy birthday kay ating Semi Kalyanga ng Hain, Nueva Ecija. Siya po ang Pangulo ng aming second Grand Reunion ng San Agustin Academy. Birthday niyan. Naku, ilang taon na ba si Ateng? Happy birthday, Ateng Semi. I know you're watching right now. Thank you din sa mga ginagawa mong tulong sa ating mga kababayan at pag-i-establish ng mga kaganapan dyan sa atin sa Hain. Rotary Club of Hain, Nueva Ecija, na pinamumunuan ng ating konsehal dyan, si Attorney Austria. Congratulations sa inyo at saka sa mga pamunuan yan. Rotary Club of Hain. Ako, member ako ng Rotary Club of San Juan kasama ko noon sila Kuyang Martin Paragoso, sila Jinggoy Estrada, at yung mga magagaling dyan sa San Juan. Doon ako may townhouse nung araw Magaling yan, Rotary Club. Dito sa Canada, hindi ko alam kung sino meron dito Magkita-kita tayo. Okay, sa pagkapatuloy po ng ating talastasan ngayon sa News at 4, na-alarma ang Malacanang? Na-alarma? Saan? Sa World Bank. Bakit? Pag-uusapan po yan when I come back. And we have some break. Babalik po ang News 4 after some words from our friends. Don't go away. I'll be back. Happy birthday nga pala sa ipag ko. Ha? Edna Kagang. Ayan, nako. At syempre, yung aking apo nga pala, nag-birthday, nag-16, sweet 16, si Iyam. Ayan, Iyam the Tall Tierra. Ayan, nanonood pala silang magkapatid. Yung aking youngest na bunsong apong babae. Kasama yung lola nila. Mimi, at saka si Kyle Edmond, yung aking pong nag-iisang apong lalaki na 12 years old. 13. Nag-13 na pala. Nako, yung mga 5'9", 5'10 na siguro. Iniwan na